I got 2,000 in a tournament this weekend, and in this video, I'm vlogging the entire event, giving highlights and a full analysis of every match that I played, and giving you guys a glimpse into my full table tennis career from beginning to now. Make sure to stay to the end if you want to hear about what's coming up next with the NBTT YouTube channel, and enjoy the video. All right, morning guys. It's the morning of the tournament. I am at EC Sports with my buddy Richard and my buddy Jake, who set me up with the lighting. We're going to Carolina Pong today. Big tournament with my buddy Trip Roach. Butterfly sponsored. You guys make sure to tune in, and let's go. Alright guys, we just pulled up. We're in South Carolina, Carolina Pong. I got 30 minutes to get warmed up before my first event, so we're rushing right now, but we're finna run inside. Guys, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
You're not playing, right?
I'm chilling, yeah.
Okay. You ready, bro? Just me and you.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Me and Richard are playing. This place is pretty tight so far. They got like an Olympic swimming pool over there. Do you guys know what this is? Is this like a community center?
This is Trip's house.
No.
I love the pool smell.
Oh, I like that pool smell. Those chemicals.
And
Yeah.
if you win the under 19, you have to jump in.
I bet. Okay, if I win the under 1900, I'm gonna jump in the pool. And I'm gonna also jump over this fence. No se permiten armas ocultas.
No se permiten armas ocultas.
Oh, it's pretty big in here. It has a very unique gym smell in here.
Like 3 hours.
This is my boy Trip.
What's up?
Thank you so much. He's putting all this together. Carolina Pong, big name. We'll get to talk to him soon, don't worry. Dude, so much room here. This is nice. Alright guys, we're done warming up. First event just started, under 2200, just chilling with my boy Jake. There's like a 1800, 1600, like a 2100, so hopefully it's top 10 move on. Maybe I'll have a chance. Alright, so my first event was the under 2200 and my first opponent's name was Richard. He was around 1600. I remember him as being a lefty with a very strong forehand and a very controlled backhand. I remember he didn't really go for finishers too much with the backhand. It was mostly block and push, and then anything to the forehand side, especially if I gave him passive balls, he would give me very strong topspin, or he would get back in lob, he would counter. I saw him play a match before this, so I went into the match already knowing that I was only going to play passive balls to his backhand, not to his forehand. So if I had to push, I would push to the backhand. If I had to give a weak shot, I would try to go to the backhand. And then if I was ready to play a strong shot, that's the only time I would go forehand. That was basically the main strategy that carried me through. I think he was a very strong player, and I think that when he develops his backhand finisher a little bit more, he's going to be very tough because his footwork is very good, as you can see, and he can get back off the table and get a lot of shots back. Basically, I just avoided his forehand, and I tried to make sure that all of my shots that did go to his forehand were strong. Other than that, I thought he played a really good game. I had a great time, and he was a subscriber of NBTT, so big shout out to Richard. Alright, so second match was against 2100. His name was Justin. He plays pinhold, and I remember him having an extremely strong forehand loop. Very spinny, kind of like hurricane vibes, very like a lot more spin than the average forehand, and he was very consistent with his backhand as well, especially with block and with lob especially. I remember him as being a very strong third ball player. His serve was very tricky and it was hard to get past, and then of course his third ball was very strong. So I did my best to attack his serves, and I tried my best to third ball to his backhand as much as I could to keep him from forehanding. That was really my best chance, I felt like, but in our match it ended up being a situation where I was unable to attack his serve, so I was unable to prevent him from third balling, and then he was effectively able to shut down almost all of my third balls. And as a lot of you guys know, I'm a very strong third ball player. I tend to have strong serves and a strong receive after. If a player successfully shuts me down in that way, rackets a lot harder for me. I started to realize that I wasn't able to third ball against him, and at the end I started to try to play more rallies, and that worked a little bit, but his placement was so unpredictable and his forehand was so spinny, I wasn't able to get really into rallies either. So definitely I feel like attacking his serves would have made a much bigger difference for me, but you guys make sure to let me know what you think in the comments. He was definitely a tough player, and I had a lot of fun. Also, he went on to play in the finals for this event, I'm pretty sure, so, or at least semifinals, something like that. But yeah, I had a great match against him, very fun, really nice guy, and his whole family was there, so it was just a great event there. So my third match in my group for the under 2200 was against Edson. I would say he has an extremely consistent style. He has a lot of good arm technique, but I found that he lacked a lot of power, and I was watching his game before that, and I found that even, you know, Richard and everybody, once they got back, they were able to get his shots back pretty easily. So that was my main tactic, was to assume that he doesn't have enough power or speed or quality to finish me in one shot, and to get back and rally with him and just to wait him out, really. I knew that if I went in there swinging hard and trying to put him away in one shot all the time, that he's consistent and he's just going to play placements on me. I figured that out pretty quickly, and in the first game or so, I would say I gave him a couple hard shots and they just came right back blocked. So I decided to make a pivot and just focus on rallying with him and trust that I have more finishing power than he does. And then just, yeah, you see here, like, even as I have to get back, it still takes him a few shots to finish me, and, you know, I'm still trying to make sure that I'm not, you know, putting all my hopes and dreams into one shot. Because when you have these players like Edson who are very consistent, as soon as you put everything on the table, they put it back in a difficult place. That's not the player that you want to be trying to unload on. You want to make sure that you're resetting more than anything, because you can't assume that you're going to be able to knock him out in one shot. That was really the experience I had with him. I found that everything in his game was pretty good. Stable forehand, stable backhand. Serves are solid. You know, I had a hard time, especially with this one that he's giving me. But yeah, what I would say is just he didn't quite have enough finishing power to make me really feel scared. I felt comfortable to get back, and I felt comfortable to rally with him, and I think that's really why I was able to pull out the 3-0 at the end. But yeah, stay tuned, because I have to play him again here in a minute in the next event. So that's not the last we'll see of Edson. So next up is my boy Raul Mova. Raul and I have a very long history of playing each other in every single tournament for some reason. This that you're watching right now is our 8th time playing in tournament. I can pull up our head-to-head right here, but I just found out how to do that actually because of Raul. Apparently you can pull up your head-to-head and you can find out that you've played somebody 8 times. Basically every single tournament I've played for like the last probably 3 or 4 tournaments, Raul has been there, and he has also been one of my opponents. So as soon as we had to play each other, I just died laughing, because it's like, you know, at this point we've played each other so many times, you know, and we don't even go to the same club. We're just from the same state. It's just always random. It always happens like that. This was our game. I want to say this was either round of 16 or quarterfinals. I'll put it right here once I go check. Raul is a very steady player. He has what I would consider to be extremely high level touch, especially with blade touch. Like, you can hear his racket all the time. I would say he has kind of like a softer rubber, strong blade kind of touch, where, you know, he's not really using a lot of body. You know, he tends to just get a hand on the ball, but when he does get a hand on the ball, he's very consistent. So power shots and, you know, drives and stuff like that, he's very consistent. I find against Raul, the worst thing I can do is give him a passive ball, because as soon as I do, his placement is on it. You know, he's got a strong shot. So I went into that with this match, and I really just focused on putting that first ball on the table as spinny and as high quality as I possibly could, so that if he did try to get in kind of like a smash technique, that it would be much harder for him to land those shots, because I already know if I give him weaker shots, he can easily smash. Even, you know, weak underspin, he'll smash right through it. His blade touch is just really high level. So you can see most of the time it kind of turns into a third ball montage at the end here, because I was just sticking to my strategy. I was going for a heavy spin on every single shot, making sure that he doesn't have anything he can smash me on. And that worked out for me. I mean, Raul's beat me in the past, of course, 3 times. You know, I'm only up on him 5-3. He's a very strong player. I really like his attitude towards the game. He's a very kind kid. You know, even if he loses or he wins, it doesn't matter. He'll always say hey to you at the next tournament, ask you how you're doing. His dad's always there, you know, just a great kid. Love Raul. Always have fun playing with you, bro, if you're watching. Next up, we have Guillerme. This is Edson's son, actually. He's around 1600 level. I would say he has a very similar game to Edson. It's very clear that they play together. My buddy Trip actually knocked my tripod, and so I missed about the first 2 games, I would say, of our match play, but it's fine. He's got a very stable backhand. I'll say that about Guillerme. He definitely surprised me with several shots getting them back, and I didn't expect. But I found that on his forehand, he doesn't use much body power. He kind of goes for like just his forearm swing, and so his forehand tended to be inconsistent and easier to return. What I did was I just kept giving him, softer shots into the backhand, expecting him to give them back, and then eventually transitioning my way over to the forehand when it felt comfortable. He did, of course, get a few good shots in there, but I felt like this was a pretty stable strategy for him because I knew that every time I went to the backhand, he was just going to block. But sometimes when I went to the forehand, he would swing on it. So I felt it was more safe to just keep going to the backhand, wait for my chance to go, and then when I do go to the forehand, try to make sure it's as high quality and spinny as possible because that's going to be the one that I really went on. All right, next up is Oluwole, who is an Atlanta legend, the Jolly Green Giant, 2100 level player from AITTA. This is actually our 4th match in our head-to-head, and it's actually not the best match I've ever played against him. The best match I ever played against him was last time, where he beat me in the 5th. But yeah, he washed right through me this time, 3-0. Oluwole is a massive guy, so I do my best to try to avoid going wide with him because his forehand and his backhand are very stable both. I would say probably his backhand is definitely his main weapon, but don't ever think that forehand's not good because that will be a big mistake. So my main strategy going into this was to serve into his elbow as much as I could and try to play a fast game centered around going to his middle because I know that, if it goes into speed for speed, I can probably keep up with him. And if he slows the game down, it's going to be a lot harder for me because his touch is just next level. His spin is next level. I definitely had no chance there. So he did exactly what I expected him to. He really shut down my third ball. He was very able to open on all my serves, flip them or rip the long ones. And then when he would serve, I found it very difficult to open on his serve first. So generally he always was the one opening the rally first, and it put me on the back foot half the time. Not having my third ball, I did my best to get back and rally with him, but he's got so much finishing power that it was very difficult. I found it a very fun match, and I felt I kind of picked up a little bit at the end there, but it was much too late. He was able to clean right through me, 3-0. Great match as always. Looking forward to the next one. All right, guys, I've been locked in, but it's time to eat. Just played my under 2200, went to quarterfinals and lost to Wole, Jolly Green Giant. Boys, lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm playing under 1900 right now. I got like an 1100 and like a 1600 or something like that in my group. Pretty chill. Playing good today, though. Quarterfinals ain't too bad. Okay, so next up, this is Adam. Adam was a really cool guy. He's got short pips on the backhand and inverted on the forehand. If you look behind him, you can see that young man is sitting there watching him. That's his son, and I'm pretty sure they just played the tournament together. I really like their vibe. The son was clapping for him when he got good points. I really had a good time playing with him. When the players are a little bit lower level like that, I try to let them play. I don't just try to get out of there. I try to keep the ball on the table for them, let them hit, let them work on stuff, stuff like that. Play around a little bit, put a little show on for his son. But all in all, I felt like it was a really fun game. I got a couple fun little shots on him there, and I was really impressed by his ability to block, actually. There was a lot of shots where, I would just put something on the table tough, and he would get it back with the backhand, no problem. So I definitely think, if he sticks with it, he's got a good natural touch for the game, and I think he can play a long time. But yeah, Adam, had a fun time playing with you, man. It was nice to meet you. If you end up seeing this, make sure you tell your son I said what's up. Yeah, I hope to see you guys around. Yeah, if you guys keep playing in the South, make sure you come through Atlanta. I'll hit you up at the next one. Next up we have Ajinkya. He's around a 1600 level player, and I felt he was very stable on both sides, especially with control. I think he tends to drive the ball a lot. He doesn't really put too much spin on the ball, so my main strategy was to keep spinning the ball a lot so that he would have to block. He wasn't able to drive. You'll find that a lot of times with these players who have a strong drive and they stay kind of close to the table and they try to smash a lot, if you keep the ball spinny, there's really no way for them to hit a strong drive, so they're forced to block a lot. And his block was very stable. You can see even there, he got a lot of blocks on the table, but I found that as long as I just stayed focused, keep rallying, eventually he would give me something I could either finish or he would make a mistake. So that was really my strategy against him. Again, there wasn't really a side difference. His forehand and his backhand were both pretty good. I would definitely say he went for finishers on both sides. He could block on both sides. So the only thing I would say is he didn't have too much spin on the ball, and he did a lot of, early timing. So it made it a little predictable for me, and I felt comfortable getting back and taking the ball late because I knew he would be there to drive the next one as well. Alright, what's up guys? Time for an update. I just played the under 2200 all the way to the quarterfinal. I lost to Oluwole in 3 games. Basically, I had a really hard time attacking his serve, and he was really good at shutting down my third ball. Case closed, it's over. I just made it through my first group in the round robin for the under 1900 where I'm the top seed. And now I'm just chilling because there's only 2 single elimination tables right now, and they're both being played on. So I'm just chilling for a little while until I play my first quarterfinal. It looks like I'm going to be playing my buddy Trent. I met him a couple tournaments ago in North Carolina. Really cool guy. He's like a chopper. It's probably like 1600, something like that. I'm not exactly sure of his rating, but it looks like I'm gonna have him in the quarterfinals. And then I'm either gonna have Edson, who I already beat 3-0 in the first match today, or I'm gonna have my buddy Jake, which would be very cool to play in the semifinal. And then after that, it would be of course the final match. Focused on a lot of mental game stuff lately. I've come to a lot of realizations about my mental game, and I'm making a lot of progress right now by just trying to remember that table tennis is fun. I think I got into a kind of a negative headspace for a little while where I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to play extremely well in tournaments, and it got to the point where I would play tournaments, and even if I did well, I would still be frustrated with the result because I felt like I should have done better. I kind of had this big realization when I played recently a tournament at my home club, and I lost to a 1300 who was arguably underrated, but still I felt so much pressure when he was doing well, and I was just thinking like, I have to win this, his rating is low, like da-da-da-da-da, and I was playing like scared, and I was so focused on the result, and I was so focused on, like this demand for me to be high level because I'm training a lot, that I forgot that I just like table tennis because it's fun. So today I've really just been playing the tournament and focusing on having fun, doing my best, and just remembering that I chose to come play this tournament because I think table tennis is fun, not because I have to prove something or something like that. And I'm playing a lot better now, so I'm feeling pretty good. I decided to take a little break outside because they told me I was gonna have to be waiting for a few matches, so I decided to take a little walk. I'm getting pretty tired. I play a pretty aggressive play style, so my body takes a lot of the damage. And then after this under 1900, I still have to go and play the Open later today at 6 p.m. So I'm very happy with how I played overall in the under 2200. I feel like making it to the quarterfinals was good. I lost to 2 players who were both 2150. Can't be mad at that. 2150 is really good for me. So yeah, I'm really proud with how I played today so far. I haven't dropped any critical matches. I beat my buddy Raul, so that was a bit of an upset. Yeah, so I've got a little bit of positive momentum going. Right now I'm just trying to make sure I'm relaxed and taking a little bit of rest because I am feeling tired. But yeah, just wanted to update you guys. Tournament's going great. Huge shout out to my buddy Trip Roach over there at Carolina Pong for making all this happen and for working so hard to bring a table tennis community here to South Carolina. It's never really existed like this before in South Carolina. I've never played a tournament in South Carolina before, but this is a great tournament. I mean, the quality of everything is great. They've got butterfly balls, which is awesome. Big shout out to Butterfly for sponsoring the Carolina Pong tournament at a discount. It's been really awesome so far to play, especially on the butterfly tables because that's what I'm used to. So every time I get on table 1, I feel much better than when I'm on like table 10 and stuff because it's like GWO or something like that. But anyway, yeah, love the gym, love the venue. Trev is my buddy. I'm so happy that there's somebody like him here in the South making things happen. Huge shout out to him. Huge shout out to Butterfly Americas, of course, for sponsoring the tournament and just for really always making sure that there's professional equipment at every tournament. Huge Huge shout out to Butterfly Americas for helping me grow table tennis in the US. NBTT is sponsored by Butterfly Americas, so you guys make sure to like, share, follow everything they do. If you guys like my channel, that means that liking them is gonna only help me out. So much love, guys. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and then I'm gonna go back inside and play. I'm sure I'll hit you guys with an update before I play the Open. Peace. Richard, give me a lobbing point. Good. Slenderman vibes. No way. Yes, sir. Oh my god! Oh my god! Alright guys, so next up we have Trent. Trent is around a 1500, 1600 level player. He plays inverted forehand, ox long pips on the backhand, which means no sponge if you don't know what ox means. So basically he can play a lot close to the table with his long pips, reverse serves very well. I even attack with the long pips because there's no sponge. And then I would say Trent's forehand is his real weapon, because if you give this kid a passive shot, it's done. He's got a cannon on that forehand. So I'm not really super sure why he's only 1500, 1600. I felt like that forehand was very strong. You know, he can get back, he can lob, he can smash, he can loop. I'm talking power, like that forehand is good. So I think really the only thing holding him back is his long pips touch. I think he needs to develop that side of his game a little bit more. I was able to easily exploit the long receives on underspin and topspin and things like that to his pips, force him to give me an easier ball that I could then put out into the forehand. I really made sure that if I was going to be a passive shot, I did not go to the forehand at all because I knew he could kill easy. So I just made sure passive shots to the backhand, and then if I'm ready to rip, I'll go to the forehand side. And that really worked out. I had a great match with him, and he's always fun. I met him a couple tournaments. Always a great guy. Next up we have Edson again. This is now in the under 1900. This was my semifinal match. So Trent was my quarterfinal match. Edson was my semifinal match. I already had a very strong idea of what I needed to do by this point because I had already played him earlier and beat him 3-0. I did the same thing and I went for placements and rallying because I expected that he wasn't going to try to kill me in one shot. He had just played a very long, strenuous game before this, so I think he was tired, and I think you can see that in his vibe. A lot of my friends had a lot of trouble with Edson. Almost all my friends played him actually at the tournament. A lot of my friends said that they were really struggling with him mentally because they felt like he wasn't trying in their matches. Like he was just like, you know, like walking around playing, but you know, it didn't bother me at all. I feel like they all three, he beat all my other friends, so you know, they kept telling me like, what did you do? You know, it seems like he doesn't try, you know, like that doesn't bother you, and I didn't. You know, I try the same regardless. I didn't really notice anything. You know, he stands in blocks. I like that. I like to keep hitting, so I honestly had a super fun game against him. I didn't feel like he was like trying to get in my head or anything. He just seemed tired to me. I genuinely enjoyed playing with him. I felt like it was a really fun match. I love playing players who just like block and are consistent and give me the ability to take a lot of shots. Edson, you really got my friends bad, man. Like you got all of them. You know, they were all coming to me like, I just felt like he wasn't trying. I don't know what to do. So, you know, definitely whatever you're doing, bro, keep doing it because it's working. But I definitely felt a lot more confident, I think, than they did. And I just tried to make sure I was playing my best table tennis. You know, it's the semifinal, so you really want to try to be confident, go for your best shots. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the match. You already know my strat against Edson, so y'all enjoy. Alright guys, it's time to play my final match against Trip. Trip is the one that is running this entire club. He's the one that has set up this entire event. He's my good buddy and we've been talking for a long time. Really excited to be playing the final against him. It's going to be fun. So for my final match of the 1900, I played against my buddy Trip Roach, who's actually the organizer of this entire tournament and the founder of Carolina Pong in general. Trip is my buddy and I had a really great match with him. I already know his game well and he knows mine, so we both knew what to do right from the very beginning. Trip is very consistent and he has a very stable touch. He doesn't make a lot of easy mistakes, and I knew that going into it. And I also know that Tripp will kill any easy ball that you give him. So if you give him anything high, anything low spin, he'll always play a very strong shot on it. He's not going to miss that. He'll smash it. So I tried to play towards my strengths versus his, and I tried to make sure all the shots were as spinny as possible, and that I was forcing him to move a lot because I felt like my movement and my footwork was probably a little bit stronger than his because, you know, he's more of a control player. So he's very stable. He likes to stand in that corner and get a lot of shots back. I felt like if I could move him around and if I could keep the ball very spinny, then I could avoid his smashes and that he wouldn't be able to block me around so easily. So that was really my strategy the entire time. I tried to make sure that we just had a really fun match because it was the final. There was people watching. And, you know, he invited me to this event. You know, like, the only reason I came to this event was because Tripp invited me. So, you know, I just really wanted to have an awesome, fun match with him. And he and I actually have a lot coming. We're planning on breaking a world record together coming soon. And we have a lot of other fun things planned. So I'm going to get off the mic. You know, my main plan, again, is I just tried to rally and play a lot of quality and make him move. So that's really all I got for Tripp. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for putting on such a good tournament. Y'all enjoy the rest of the match.
Oh, shit. Not cooking. There we go.
Just got that fat check.
Thank you.
So for the first match of my open singles event, I am playing Irvin, who is a 1700. I felt like he was extremely stable on both sides, and he plays a very good spinny game. His hand touch is very good. I would say he didn't use too much body rotation, so I didn't feel a lot of power in his shots, but his shot was very spinny and very stable, and he was able to receive a lot of my strong shots. So I really tried to play towards my strength versus his, which I felt like was really the speed game because his spin game is strong. And then also I felt I was able to move and rally a little bit better, so I tried to move him around as much as possible. I really just tried to keep the ball fast and tried to play ready to move, ready to go, blocking wide and stuff like that. And then if he does get the first spin, just try to, you know, hold it out until you get an easy shot because that ball is spinning for sure. He's a good player, had a great match. Thanks so much, man. Also a follower, so shout out him. So for my last match of the day, I am playing Justin, who was a 2000 level coach for Carolina Pong. I'm not sure if he's a coach for all of Carolina Pong, but I know that he's Tripp Roach's coach, so the guy I played in the final. So I already knew in the warm-up against this guy and from watching him play a couple other matches that forehand is insane, and I'm saying insane. When I tell you that every single forehand that this dude hit on me, I could barely even touch. It was so strong, so much quality, so much spin. I knew right off the bat that I was going to have to go backhand to backhand as much as possible because anything passive to the forehand was just getting murdered, and that became very obvious in the beginning. So I tried to drop shot to the forehand as much as I could to get him to push first and allow me to flip. I tried to stay every single shot as much as I could into the backhand and with good pace so that he didn't have time to step around very much. And then really the main thing that came for me through in the end was just rallying because I realized that his backhand is so stable if you actually are ripping balls at it, but if I kept giving him like kind of half empty backhand, then he would make make a lot more mistakes. I think because he's used to using other people's backhand power, he doesn't use his as much. So that was really the key to me, like finding a victory. I know in the second set he was up like 8-3, 8-2, something like that, and I just accidentally let a soft, weak ball off to the backhand, and I saw that he dumped it into the table. I tried it again, and it worked again, and then that carried me all the way through the second game. In the third game, he was way stronger about getting his forehand in, and I was just unable to do anything about it. And then he started hitting some pretty solid backhands. But I still I remember after the third game, I was like, okay, I still just need to stick to the same plan because nothing has changed. I still can't handle the forehand no matter what. You know, even if he won that game with the backhand strategy, I need to keep the same strategy. Just keep trying to go to the backhand as much as you can. So that's what I did, and it worked out for me in this game. I was able to play a lot more spin and a lot more confidence because I felt like I really needed to fight for this game because I knew if it went to the fifth and he started getting a lot of forehands in, then I would have a really hard time. So I just stuck with my strategy and I tried to play as confidently as I possibly could, kept going for backhands, and if I put anything to the forehand, it needed to be a kill shot. Around the end, I started to relax here in the fourth game, and I was able to get some really solid soft shots on the table, and that really carried me through to my victory against just, you know, clearly a very strong player. I would say forehand alone, he's easily like 22, 2300. Forehand was just ridiculous, and his serves were good. He's a very smart guy. I mean, he was shutting down my third ball as best he could. He was opening first. I truly didn't find any kind of major weakness against him other than just me hoping that my backhand was enough to make it through. And fortunately it was. Also, I think there was a bit of an issue because I had to play so many events back to back. He had to wait a long time between playing the other guy and then playing me. And I came into this match like already hot off another match. So I feel like that definitely played into it. But I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. You know, that's just table tennis. So you guys enjoy the rest of the match. Justin, thanks so much for a good match. I really enjoyed playing with you, man. Hope we have another one. And thank you guys, especially thank you Carolina Pong for putting on such an awesome tournament. Thank you Butterfly for always sponsoring Nathan Bray Table Tennis and for being a major sponsor in this tournament as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bro. Thank you so much, Trip Roach, for putting on an awesome tournament. We got to head out. Trip, is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, just thank everyone for coming. We had a really good turnout today. Saw a lot of people from a lot of different clubs around the Southeast, so we're fortunate to have table tennis be the epicenter in Columbia, South Carolina for the weekend.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
very awesome.
appreciate you for
Thank you so much, bro. And thanks to Butterfly for sponsoring. These dorks waiting on me. We decided there was no point in playing at 2300. Tactical default. And tactical 3.5 hour drive home. Tell the people something.
Follow your dreams.
How was your tournament?
It was so fun. I lost and I won. I laughed, I cried.
Same, except for the crying part. What about you?
I didn't cry either.
You did okay. He plays too much golf. Don't ask him. What about you? How was your tournament?
Edson ruined my whole day.
You didn't ruin your whole day? How's your tournament, Stuart?
Mix. I couldn't pull out a couple really close matches. Yeah, I won what I should have won.
I saw you lost a trip in the end, right? Yeah, that was really close. Okay, bet. Let's get out of here, guys. NBTT, Butterfly clocking out.
ATL squad, roll out.
Autobots.
Autobots, roll out.
Four guys back in action.
No, please miss. Get ready for EULA Teams 2025. Team, please miss in this car.
Let's finally.
We just ate at Subway. It was busing. I'm kind of freaking out right now because we put all my rating into a USATT rating calculator, and it says I'm gonna be 2000. What you need? So yeah, hopefully I'm not gonna make any announcements or anything until I get the official rating, but it's like I might have 2000, boys. Hey, give me my bag, fatty. Richard's going up, Jake's going down, Tyler's going down, and I am 2000 now.
I'm tanking so I can get re-rated.
That's the strat, actually. I also did that recently.
Shout out to Joseph Knob. He's gonna be the best 1600 in the world.
Dude, if you go down to 1600, that would be
There's
insane.
no way. I'll be like 17.
Dude, 1600 is like actually illegal. If you were 1600, you're gonna give somebody the worst day of their life, bro.
Facts. It's gonna be like the guy in the 1200 that beat you.
Yeah, straight up. That was such an eye-opening moment. I was like, wow, I have so many things that are wrong.
Devastating.
Imagine I leave the camera here, bro. Get that time lapse of people filling up their car. Been a bust down on some cookies. Technically, I moved on in all 3, but we forfeited the round of 16. Thank God too, bro, because we're already like getting home so late. I almost did forget the camera. All right, guys, the tournament's over. It's 11:30. We just got back to Georgia, back to home club, dropping the boys off. Your boy got 2,000 today, under 1900 champion. It was lit. Guys, it was fun. See you. Bye, Richard. Bye, Jake. See you guys next time. like that video, make sure you hit subscribe. There's a lot of cool things coming with the NBTT channel. Now that I've got 2,000, my next goal is to get 2,200, and I'm gonna start doing a weekly training vlog where I include what I'm working on each week, clips of my daily life, personal life, any tournaments that I have. My plan is to start compiling all of these things together and uploading once a week. I really want to focus on making the kind of content that I enjoy in NBTT, so one thing that I want to start doing is vlogging. I really enjoy doing that, and I think that I'm gonna start doing a weekly vlog of my road to 2,200 and kind of the things that I'm working on each week, any major tournaments that I have, also just personal things in my life. I really think that I'm gonna enjoy making those kind of videos, and my plan is to make one a week and upload it, let you guys know what I'm working on week by week, what's going on with NBTT. And especially, you know, like, especially with traveling and big tournaments and stuff, I wanna make sure that I'm bringing you guys along for my journey, and I wanna make sure that I'm a lot more consistent moving forward with my journey, because I really think that I'm gonna start, and you know, now that my life is a lot more stable, I wanna start prioritizing NBTT again. I'm definitely gonna be bringing you guys along for the journey moving forward. Road to 2,200 is definitely coming. Y'all make sure to tune in, get ready for that. Of course, thank you so much to Butterfly for sponsoring NBTT. You guys make sure to follow them. Anything you guys do to help them will always help me. So next week, I'm gonna be going to Mexico to visit my wife's family, and then after that will be week 1 of my new training vlog, Road to 2,200. So I would say in about 2 weeks, you guys should start to see some videos coming out, and I really look forward to it. I'm also gonna be doing a little vlog of everything I do in Mexico just for fun. I don't know how much table tennis there will be, but it will definitely be some kind of travel vlog. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.